Good evening. South Africans out there, this thing is so nerve-wracking. You wait for technology and technology has its own way, but I think the young men around me are not helping me. They should be helping the old man to cope up with the things. But let's apologize again for starting late, but we promise tomorrow we will definitely start at 7 o'clock sharp. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, viewers out there, brothers and sisters, fathers and mothers, welcome to Sakumzi. That is where the Sello Ncube Foundation is holding conversations of fathers and sons during the 16 days of activism of no violence against women and children. This is a very difficult subject, ladies and gentlemen, and we are glad that today we have a guest like we had yesterday, and this is our second issue. Yeah, we started yesterday. Today is the second day, and I think we're going on 15 more days, 15 more issues, 14 more issues. Then I think we will definitely be on the roll. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank Sakumzi Matkobela for according us this lovely place at Sakumzi restaurant. If you want to have a home-cooked meal, come to Sakumzi. And here I've also got my boys, Lindo today and Neo. They will have their moment to introduce themselves. And I want to thank you boys. I really want to thank you boys for really taking the time and doing this with me, having difficult conversations, and we've always had these difficult conversations. The only difference is that now we are making them public. This is to encourage fathers out there. Start having conversations with your sons. Let's find a way of how do we break the cycle? How do we turn the tide? How do we sow seeds that will germinate in the future, seeds of change of attitudes, seeds of saying change is possible. My guest, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so humbled. I mean, she's a child of my hero. And the thing is, because yo, man, now it's fun. Ndileka, Mandela, welcome and thank you for taking the time and spend this opportunity to share with us your understanding, your views, your feelings about gender-based violence. We are going to be having a frank talk, my viewers out there, my brothers and sisters, my mothers and fathers, and all the young people out there. Let's take this time to make sure that we take or we learn something. We take something home. We find a way of how to create better characters. I'll give Ndileka to give and greet you all out there.
Good morning, I beg your pardon. Good evening to the viewers and my big brother. Thank you so much for having this conversation. Now, this is one of the things that I've always grabbed about, that whenever we talk about gender-based violence, it's mainly women amongst ourselves that talk about the gender-based violence. And I felt that we'll go round and round in circles until the day comes that we have frank conversations with men. Because the perpetrator is the man. If you take the perpetrator out of the conversation, you're never going to get to the solution.
Absolutely.
And like we talked earlier on, I was saying to you that another gripe is that whenever we talk gender-based violence, we talk only of violence. It is a symptom of something. Maybe it's because I'm a nurse by profession, an ICU nurse, and I know that to cure any disease, you have to go to the root cause.
Yep.
What is the root cause of gender-based violence?
Yep. Yeah.
And I'm happy that we are having this type of conversations to go to the root cause and talk to young boys, talk to men to say, what is the cause? What is the frustration?
Absolutely.
What makes you use brute force to solve your frustration? What tools can we equip you as mothers to be able to deal with the frustration other than just brute force?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, introduce yourself.
Nake now. Yeah, well, I thank my father, for giving me this opportunity to come, forward and talk to the nation, talk to the whole world, actually, because this is a very interesting subject which affects all of us, and I really think that this is a good cause and we should believe in it, and let's do our best, and achieve this goal together, not individually, because together we can stand. Thank you.
Lindo, take your moments.
I'm Lindoguhle Makubo, and I think for me, I'm actually so grateful for this opportunity because it gives me a chance to actually learn so much, because I think now I'm in a very important stage in my life where I'm still molding the kind of man that I want to become. So I feel like these conversations and lessons are actually so important. So I'm grateful for that opportunity.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The topic today is not a very complex one. It is just basically, frankly and honestly, conversing about gender-based violence, its causes, and the repercussions that we have. I remember one time an old man told a story, and he told a story of a carpenter and his son. And he said, the carpenter was busy working in his workshop, and the 7-year-old boy was busy there, and he was, troubling the dad. Dad, what is this? Dad, what is this? And he was hindering the old man from working. Now in the workshop, there was a map of the world on the wall. The old man took off that map from the wall, tore it into pieces, threw it on the ground, got a working sellotape, gave it to the boy, said, put that map together. And that, distracted the boy for a while. And the old man kept on working. After a while, the boy comes back and says, Daddy, look, I have put the map together. Now, behind the map, there was a drawing of a man's head. And the moral of the story is, if man can get his head together, the world would be a better place to be. And I think for me, this is just also one thing to say to men. If we are going to say to ourselves, we are the heads of our household, and if we look at what the physiological working duty of the head on the body, and on the head, what you find is what? Eyes. You find the ears to listen to danger. I've got a 1-year-old grandson. When he hears a strange noise, he goes. And he doesn't know, but there's something that the ears are there to watch for danger. You've got your nose to breathe in air and give body life. You've got your mouth, which is the access for food, which is also an instrument of communication. So if you say you are the head of the household, do you realize what kind of responsibility you are attaching to yourself? Because the head, once it's not there, the body is dysfunctional. And if, for instance, the head gets damaged, the body can't function properly. So if you say you are the head of the household, you've got a huge responsibility. What do you think? What do you say to that?
It's true, Sello, because, I've always talked about the gender roles. You know, there's the notion of the 21st century woman of saying that we are equals, men and women. And I believe we're complementary.
Yeah.
Equals maybe surely intellectually, but physically we're not. A man is stronger than I am. A man cannot have a child. I can have a child. I can conceive. I can carry a life. So this speaks to the different roles that men and women have to play in family.
Yeah.
Like you say, the man is the head, and they should be able to make decisions that favor the family. However, the head cannot turn without the neck, which is the woman.
Yeah.
So we play complementary roles, and we have got to be able to where your man is lacking, be the mirror image and be able to pick him up, and where your woman is lacking, be the mirror image and be able to pick him up. There's a saying that says, you know, as men, women are your weakness, and with us women, men are our strength, which means that this is a yin and yang. This is the yin and yang situation. And if men can play the role that they were meant to play, and I take cue of anything spiritual from the Bible. Because biblically speaking, the man is the head of the family, and they have got to play the role. And what does that mean to me? It means the man must provide, lead the family. My role as a woman is to nurture and grow the family and grow whatever you put on the table. If you put food on the table, I must be able to make it into a meal. Not to say that you can't cook. If you give me money, I am able to make anything grow. Somebody said that women are able to make things grow.
They're magnifiers.
Yes.
They are magnifiers.
They're magnifiers. So these are the different roles that we have played. As the head of the family, be worthy of being the head of the family. Like I say, use your eyes, all the communication skills that you're given by God to be able to lead a family.
What's your take on my analogy? Or my anecdote? More my anecdote. No.
Okay. Well, I wanted to touch upon,
that
spontaneity, then, so I can, because my thought was there.
So
now, I'm shifting now, so, Well, your analogy, I could say, is a very interesting one, because as you're saying that those fragments of, those pieces of paper of the map, because now if you're saying there was a head and there was a head behind the map, so clearly to me, I will also talk about the map as well, because the map to me, it symbolizes a woman, feminine, femininity, you understand? So, and the head is a man. So these together, they work hand in hand. So because of the woman conceives, so that's the world. She conceived, which is a child. So getting your head together, it's a process because we come from different backgrounds. So the thing is, for me to understand another man, I have to put myself in his shoes, understand? So it's a complex situation, it's not easy. So it's broad. I cannot answer it with one sentence.
No, you know what I like? What I like is I actually told an anecdote. You actually took it further and made an analogy. Lindo, what is your take of this anecdote?
I think I agree with it and I understand it fully. But what does getting your head together necessarily mean or entail?
Exactly.
That's my question.
Yes. Let me take it from what you are saying. Okay. What does it entail to get your head together? What would you say? I know what my take is going to be.
Well, get your head together for me means that have your ducks in a row. as a man. I believe that, we are a generation of people that are lost. We don't plan for things. Things just happen to us. And for me, getting your head together is having a plan. What is your plan for life? What do you want to achieve? What are the goals that you set for yourself? There are two people that taught me how to do goal setting. These are my grandparents, my grandmother that brought me up, Evelyn from the Eastern Cape, and granddad. I mean, from the time you wake up in the morning, you plan your day, even if it's a weekend, by the hour. And I'm still like that to date. I will wake up tomorrow. I know that this is what I plan to do on an hourly basis, and that sort of directs how you go. And at the end of the day, be able to see, did I achieve some of the things that I had set to do. Nowadays, because I'm, like I said, I'm a woman over 50, so in my mid-50s, I write things down, and I have to go and tick, okay, did I make the score that I had said that this is what I want to do? Did I get the results? So for me, getting your head together is having a plan about your life in general and setting your goals.
And just to pick up on what you were saying, did you hear something familiar there? Of course. Because I keep on saying, well, in my case, the problem is it's do as I say. The thing about planning your life, getting your life together. But in this case, this is Ndileka, we are dealing with emotion. And one of the things that I say is that we never get taught how to deal with conflict.
Yeah.
We are never taught how to have self-control, self-restraint, self-regulation. And and the worst thing is that even when you are growing as a child, one of the things that I think the children learn, or as toddlers, that the very first word, as much as everybody might think, or it is mama, it is actually no. Because every time I say, hey, no, and I see it with my 1-year grandson. He already go. And that is the very thing that, one thing that they learn. But we are dealing with how to deal with emotions. How do we deal with conflicts? And if you can maybe share those kind of your views on that with my boys,
Like I said, like you're also saying, children learn by emulation, and it starts from an early age. We tend to think leadership starts when a person is an adult.
Yeah.
If I have to take an example about my grandfather, people always are revering how granddad was the iconic leader that he was.
Yeah.
And they always attribute that to the ANC. No. Granddad learned to be that leader of being a consultative leader at the household of John Ndaba at the age of 10. He would watch tribal council and see how King John Ndaba conducted tribal council by listening to each and every Induna before coming to a consensus. And that says to me that development and also grooming children has got to start at an early age. Like Sello says, it starts from, if you look historically, playing as children, toddlers, fighting over a toy, we hardly ever intervene as parents because we have that perception that they are boys. Whereas if two girls are fighting over a toy, you always say, no, you need to share with your thing. So boys grow up with this notion that if you want something, you have to use brute force. So we have got to break that cycle and teach, because we never equip boys with how to do conflict resolution. As girls, we are always taught, resolve your issues. So that is a skill that we are taught, because we also see our mothers resolving the conflict. A mother is a natural born conflict resolution person, because you can intervene with your children, two children playing, fighting, and be able to say, No, you need to have turns on. So that for us, conflict resolution is a natural thing. It's innate in us. Whereas men, it's a skill that they need to be taught, and it's a skill that we've never taught them. And historically also speaking, we're now only like 2 generations out of apartheid. It takes more than that to break a cycle. We're coming from a cycle of violence in South Africa. And besides that, apartheid was a systematic breakdown of family by virtue of men just being allowed in the hostels and not to bring their women. What did this then breed? It bred a lot of boys that were lost because girls had their strong mothers at home. Boys never had anyone. And then fast forward to nowadays, you now get also boys that are growing up without their fathers. I'm talking from experience because I'm a single mother. I have 2 children, a boy and a girl. And my son, has had to learn to talk, fortunately, because of the extended type of family. He had to learn from other men in the family. And, my uncles and also the extended family from the Maake family. But that, the vacuum that is then caused by children that do not have fathers, then breeds violence. It breeds anger. And that for me is what we need to talk about. How do we break the cycle of anger amongst men? Because if you look at the amount of violence of how men kill women, I mean, if I had to sacrifice that was hung from a tree, I mean, you have to think what kind of anger causes a person to do that. Because, human beings are not meant to be like animals. Actually, even animals are not like that. Animals kill to eat. They don't kill just for the sake of killing. So what kind of anger breeds people, it makes people to behave like that? So we need to go deep as to what is causing the anger. And for me, I think it is mainly because boys are not taught how to resolve conflict. They also not given. There's not a lot of support. There's no support system for boys, and those are the support systems that you have to be able to build. That even if you're a single parent, how do you make sure that your boy has a mentor? Because we cannot run away from the fact that, girls learn from their mothers, and men have got to learn from other men to be men. I cannot teach my boy how to be a man. There's certain things that I can't articulate to him. He's got to be taught by another man.
No.
As you say, the thing is that we know that culture, we say community. Understand? So sometimes you cannot say create probably excuses for now. Maybe all understand? Because your uncle, your grandfather is your father. Talking from my experience, And the thing is, we need to understand, as I was saying yesterday, the basics of life. There's a structure that we have to follow. Like we need to understand, like even if we check animals, we can learn from them because they haven't changed their attitude or their aim in life, and they're very consistent, you understand? And the thing is, as we mentioned earlier about the Bible as well, because today it just happened that, I need to also count. And the scripture, it's something that just came to me, and it's a message that I just want to read, and it says, it's 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. It says, let a woman learn quietly with complete submission. I do not allow a woman to teach, neither to domineer over a man. Instead, she's to keep still. So we need to understand, okay, fine. We know woman empowerment, it's another extreme, which now we are actually, the government is actually, giving women power and over men, understand? And God has said it clearly, like there is no woman that must be above the man, understand? It's a structure. It's like that. Even a lion cannot allow, this, yes, you understand? And now the thing is, we also need to understand, okay, this thing, Bible itself, it's a story like we can actually take examples from it, and make our life better. Because it says again, for Adam was first formed, then Eve, she came after. Adam was not deceived, but the woman, since she was deceived, experienced the transgression, And then this one is just my quote, which I think it says, father and mother are the pillar and the bulwark, of the family. So we need to understand there's a foundation. And when it says a woman needs to submit to a man, it doesn't mean she's a slave to a man, you understand? Because there are pillars. So we need to understand each other and complement each other, as we were saying earlier, So 50-50 is not about like, you understand? No, it's not about that. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. Okay. I was silly, no. I think, okay, no, but a point well made. Yeah. A point well made. It's a point well made.
Yeah? But I think now while the conversations being held on like social media,
yes,
is now, men somehow to an extent, when you don't have your head together, how do you expect a woman to submit to you? Because I think we take this thing, as a given. It's in the Bible. The Bible says, she must submit to you. Whereas you don't have a plan. Where are you willing to take?
Play your role. Then I will submit to you.
Exactly. Exactly.
No, that's very interesting, guys. That's very interesting. And, I think the sharing of views, and just basically saying what you want to say I think that's what I want to encourage into this whole thing. So that we should be frank and clear about what we stand for. But in the process as well, one thing that we are going to be doing is that we are going to have to maybe oppose one another. I loved our conversation, but time is running out. The time is always on our side. But I think maybe just in wrapping, Sister Ndileka, what would you, say, with this whole thing of maybe making sure that we start having genuine conversations?
I think the time has come for both genders to have a gloves of conversation, of going back to the drawing board. Where do you go astray? Because if you look, as African people, we've always had this system, the extended life family, which we now have done away with because we're living in urban areas, so we don't have the pearls of wisdom that are coming from the old people. And match that with the new generation, which I call intergenerational discourse. Exactly. So we need to have a lot of this robust intergenerational discourse because we live in a different century.
Yeah.
So we have got to share these experiences. It's a digital age, my age, and I'm from the generation X. So we have got to share
analog.
With the analog. We analog. So we have got to have this conversation. They have got to keep on, not just on the 16 days, on a daily basis. We need to have such conversations.
30 seconds now. Wrap up. 30 seconds. Wrap up.
Okay. I just want to also quote as well.
Yeah, but wrap up. 30 seconds now. 30 seconds. Time is out. We left with 1 minute. Or should we leave it?
No,
let's leave it. Well, 30 seconds.
I wish it was long. I wish the conversation was long.
Yeah. Oh, we still with the 30 seconds. Take 30 seconds.
No, it's okay.
How much we got? We got 2 minutes. Yeah?
No, it's okay.
It's okay. One thing that I appreciate in our earlier conversation was actually just that gloves of conversation and how we got to begin to address issues because especially in intimate partner violence, there are certain, dynamics that are at play, and that is why, even at a certain point, I was saying we have we have to deal with how we deal with emotions, and one of the things that we find, and that is very, very difficult, is being able to regulate our emotions. And once we lose, but we have got no control of that, that is when everything dies. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining Sello Maake Foundation's Fathers and Sons Conversations. We are going to have more of these conversations. Please join us on Facebook. Give us your comments, like us, the official Sello Maake Ncube Facebook page, the Sello Maake Ncube Foundation page. Like us, we will like you back, and let us just proceed with the conversation. Hashtag Sello MKN _ and sons changing attitude. Sello MKN _ sons, heal yourself. Thank you very much.